Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, in the studio on a Wednesday morning. Last week, I made mention that Rashee Rice was, in fact, with Patrick Mahomes in Texas running drills. But you told me this morning you might have some inside information.
Well, the NFL has a little group they call the Insider. Adam Schefter runs it. And they've done some speculation on what might happen. They kept their ear to the ground, and find out what the general thinking is. First of all, there's been, to my knowledge, no trial date set, and that's not unusual because the legal docket in not only in Texas but elsewhere is pretty well filled up. So you have to put things, I guess, in order, not necessarily in priority, but in numerical order of the arrests. This could be as much as a year before there's any legal action taken against them. Now, the NFL in the past has waited until after that legal action. However, we've got a season coming up here. And Adam Schefter seems to think that the NFL is considering a multi-game suspension. Now, multi-game is a term that's used in the NFL that could be anywhere from 2 to 8 games that he would miss. I think considering the level of the infraction and the court of public opinion would have to think it'd be significant in terms of more toward 8 than it would be toward 2, but who knows? Who knows what the NFL thinks? Probably, well, what I think is, and of course, it's totally different. I think I ought to be suspended for a year. But then again, that may not be the case. He may be allowed to play a little bit. I would think, though, Mike, and you can speak for at least a segment anyway of Chiefs fans, how do you feel about a guy like that coming back and playing before any kind of legal action has been taken?
I mean, that's just the due process. It's the way it is. If you committed a crime and it wasn't like an assault, or it was let's say it was a financial crime or something like that, you would still be allowed to work while the legal process went through itself. So it would be no different from you or a football player. So that's just the way it goes. I mean, my opinion doesn't matter about whether or not I think he should play or shouldn't play. The legal process is there for that reason.
I think you missed what do you think the public reaction would be?
Well, I mean, it's been mixed. Most I think of the guys and gals that I've talked to that I know that are big fans like myself are just kind of disappointed. Does that make sense? I mean, especially for a kid to have a year like he did his rookie year and then do something this stupid, it's just like, why would you be so stupid? And again, we're also extremely thankful that no one got seriously hurt or killed.
But that's God's break. That's a lucky break in the whole thing. It could have. The guy was doing 119 miles an hour in his Lamborghini, and you can't. To me, you can't forgive something like that when it's proven. I mean, it's on paper, on camera, and then leaving the scene of an accident. Although, having said that, that was not one of the charges.
No, and again, like I said, you said the word forgive, and I think a lot of us believe that people should be given a second chance. If it's not a serial, if he doesn't, if he's a young man, he's in his early 20s, I'm not excusing that at all for the behavior, but I also did really stupid stuff in my early 20s, and thank God I wasn't at a professional level or they had cameras all over me, because it would have been a bad time.
How about stupid stuff in your late 30s and 40s?
Hey, I got to grow up sometime, Ned. All right, maybe I grew up faster than you. But on that end,
you did, believe me.
On that end, the NFL draft, of course, starts tomorrow, and now it makes you wonder, going into this draft, a lot of talk was, well, Chiefs need to kind of try to maybe get someone on the front five for the offense. Then maybe, get a tight end. There's some good tight ends in that first round they might go. You never know. And now it's like, well, do we start looking at a receiver?
Very good point. What do they do, and does this alter their game plan any? I looked at the Chiefs roster and looked at a number of the individuals who are going to be there. Of course, you have Travis Kelce. He's not a wide receiver. He is a tight end. And there are other individuals on there who do fit that bill, including Kadarius Toney, who hardly played at all last year. They're all listed on the roster, but you know who's not listed on that roster? And surprised me a little bit? Is McCole Hardman. He is not there. He's a guy I had the pleasure of interviewing on Sunday. I don't think the guy's going to be with the team. The way he acted, and which was not adverse, but the way he spoke about his future and so forth and so on, I just don't think they plan on having him around, which surprises me since he caught the winning touchdown. I think the Chiefs alter their plan, but I'm not going to sway from the fact that I think their choice is an offensive lineman.
That's what I'm hoping for. I think we've got a lot of talent, and we could utilize what we have. The McCole Hardman thing, I'm interested to see, but again, it was always just a one-year deal. He came in and did what he had to do, and we'll see what happens. He might just be done after this. I mean, the kid's got 2 rings now. Why wouldn't you? So anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm excited though. You know, my kid's birthday and the draft happens at the same time every year. So it's like almost I get my own little national holiday in April.
What day is his birthday?
His is actually tomorrow. So it's the 25th. So whenever he was born, I was in that room while she was in labor watching the draft. I hope she's not listening. Well, she's just, I mean, it's not like, you know, it was bad stuff, but we were both watching the draft. So last but not least, we did have some college baseball teams that were in action. How'd they do?
Both the Bears and the Drury Panthers were on the road. Missouri State went up to visit Missouri for the second of their 2 games within a week, and Missouri, which is not having a great year, they're under 500, the Tigers, but they did win. They had a big 6-run 6th inning, came from behind to beat the Bears, although the Bears out-hit Mizzou. It was Mizzou 10 and the Bears 6, so that 2-game little swing with Missouri is over for the year. Drury went up to Warrensburg, played Central Missouri. Central Missouri came into that game 40-5, 40 wins, 5 losses. That is good for number 2 in America. And they had a big 6th inning. Only they scored 7 runs in their 6th inning. And Central Missouri beat Drury by a score of 12-2. Drury had a very early lead in the ball game. But this is number 2 in America. And when you're playing the upper echelon like that, you better play your best and hit your best and have a lot of good fortune, and it didn't come about. So both the Bears and Drury lose in some non-conference games. That's the key. These games are non-conference, so your chances, and Drury's chances, are much better than the Bears of winning their conferences are pretty good.
The Cardinals have been inconsistent, to say the least, on the offensive side of the ball until recently.
Well, the other night they had a 2-run walk-off homer.
Yeah, I thought that was nice to see, but
ended a 4-game losing streak. So you would have thought, hey, they're motivated coming back now. Well, last night it was 0-0 until all of a sudden it wasn't 0-0. Arizona scored 4 runs in the 4th inning off Steven Matz, drove him to the showers, and then drove every other pitcher to the showers too. 14-1. The Arizona Diamondbacks win this game. 14-1. It's a loss. It's just 1 game. But that score indicates maybe some problems with the St. Louis Cardinals at all aspects of the game. I was hoping maybe that Paul Goldschmidt might be snapping out of his slump. Well, he went 0 for 4 last night, so his average is now down to around 180. Averages at this time of the year, Mike, differ greatly because of the lesser number of games that are played and lesser number of at-bats. But it's now going to begin to even out, plateau a little bit more. And when you're below the Mendoza line, like a guy who's going to be a free agent that's not particularly encouraging. They play again, the Cardinals and Diamondbacks play at noon today. And here's the significance. And this is a little-known factoid, but I think Cardinals fans know this and the media does. Cardinals, now this is early still, and I don't remember not sure exactly how many series they have played, but the Cardinals have not won the final game of any series so far this year, and this is the final game of the Diamondback series. What that means, who knows?
Not a good look for the future is what that tells me, but what also tells me on a good look at the future is right now the Kansas City Royals are in a series with the Toronto Blue Jays, who are also having a great start to the season and got a dub yesterday.
They did. Royals came away with clutch pitching, and that's a key for Kansas City. Beat the Toronto Blue Jays 3-2, and it was in doubt right up until that final out. But a 3-2 win for Kansas City, and it does set them up for their game tonight up at Kauffman Stadium. And you're right, Toronto has a very good team. In fact, all those teams from the American League East, almost all of them, are very good. Springfield Cardinals opened up a home series, fell behind the Arkansas Travelers last night, but hey, these are the Springfield Cardinals. They're playing magic baseball, came back with a rally, win the game 7-6 over Arkansas. Springfield is now 13-3 on the year, 10 games over 500. That's pretty doggone good.
Got the NBA playoffs and the NHL hockey playoffs going on right now.
Yeah, quickly go over the winners in these things. The Timberwolves, the Pacers, and the Indiana Pacers getting a win over Milwaukee is big. And the Dallas Mavericks out in Los Angeles beat the Clippers. And in the Stanley Cup, New York Rangers, the Florida Panthers, the Colorado Avalanche to come back and tie their series, and the Nashville Predators, all winners last night.
Ned, you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you mañana.